What's up, everybody? It's just Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and always. Today we got a hell of a show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my name is Charles Sabansi. My handle is CTABANZ. You want to follow the channel, Dreamers Pro on Instagram, same in the channel, Dreamers Pro. And if you want today's full show before it comes out on YouTube, it's streaming for free on the Dreamers Pro podcast. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. As you guys know, Stephen A. Smith is the biggest personality at ESPN, right? Biggest personality. He's been here for a very long time, and he has the #1 morning sports talk show in the United States. I think, according to him, for the last 10 years, right? Stephen A. Smith is good at what he does, and he generates a lot of revenue for the network. There's no question about this. Although I disagree with him on a lot of things that he does, how he behaves sometimes, but that's not gonna distract us from the reality of things. He's a big deal, right? He is a big deal. It's him, Shannon Sharpe, and these guys. These guys sit at the top of the sports media world, if we're being honest, at least in the United States. So we know this. Now, what's one of the things we've heard Stephen A. Smith say religiously? One of the things Stephen A. Smith has been saying year after year is he believes he's underpaid. I'm underpaid. I believe that I'm underpaid. I should be paid more. He never minced words about, he was always 100% direct about the fact that he believed that he wasn't being paid. So we've been recently hearing, now that we're hearing that his contract with ESPN is coming close to expiring, there have been a lot of murmurs around there saying that if Stephen A. Smith doesn't receive the $20 million per annum that he may be potentially looking for, he may actually leave ESPN. And a lot of sources have been actually saying that. One of the sources that I got it from is fadeawayworld.net, where they said Stephen A. Smith could leave ESPN if he doesn't get the bag. But before we even get into that, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Aura. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So let me get into this article here. It says, it continues on, it says, Stephen A. Smith is undoubtedly ESPN's biggest star, but it could potentially end up losing him in 18 months when his contract expires. As per Michael McCarthy of Front Office Sports, Smith could leave if he doesn't get paid the big bucks. Report, Stephen A. Smith is likely to go independent or late night TV if ESPN doesn't pay him when his current contract expires in 18 months. If he doesn't get the bag, he's going to split. It continues on. In recent times, Smith has seen the likes of Troy Aikman, Joe Buck, Pat McAfee join the network and make more money than he does. So if he doesn't get a bigger deal than them, when his contract negotiations take place, it wouldn't be all that surprising if he chose to walk away. Considering his popularity, he could very easily land a lucrative deal for a late night TV show or even go independent. He already has the Stephen A. Smith Show on YouTube, which has proven to be a massive success. Smith is also a lot more open to, and he doesn't have to answer to anyone as such, and he can speak his mind. And the article goes on to say a few other things. What are my thoughts about this? First of all, if Stephen A. Smith in a new contract decides that he wants to get paid more, I think he deserves it for a few reasons. Number one, ESPN needs Stephen A. Smith. You see what's happening with Pat McAfee and the network there. That's number one. So they need him. Number two, he has a proven track record. It's hard to argue against being number one for God knows how many, 10 years. Whether or not I like Stephen A. Smith, I agree with his views and all, is irrelevant. The question is, does he deserve the money? The answer is undoubtedly yes. He does, because if he doesn't, then who does? Who does? Who? He has the #1 morning sports show. The show is innovative. They continue to innovate. They brought in Shannon Sharp. They have a rotating cast of interesting people. He has Chris Mad Dog Russo. They have JJ Redick. They have Kendrick Perkins. You have himself. And he has proven that he knows how to create a successful show. And by the way, also garnering an audience off of ESPN on YouTube. So he's looking at the entire situation. He's like, look, I'm bringing you what I'm bringing you on TV. So I know at a baseline, and if we're negotiating more, I should get a little bit more just based off of that. But now I'm cultivating another audience out there. And that should mean something as well. Now, what happens if ESPN doesn't decide to pay Stephen A. Smith? I think Stephen A. Smith can either go independent, as the article said, and if he does decide to go independent, I think he's going to be very, very successful, and I think he's going to make a lot of money. He's either going to get a contract or get sponsored by maybe FanDuel or one of these guys, so he's going to have that money coming in, guaranteed. He's going to be able to land major guests because of his connections. And he most likely will be able to get other gigs around the entertainment world. And I don't think that ESPN is in a position, most importantly, to lose a talent like Stephen A. Because if you lose Stephen A. Smith on ESPN first, say, who are you going to replace him with? Now, some people are saying Shannon Sharp. Yeah, Shannon, you could replace him with Shannon Sharp, but why not keep the two of them? Why not keep the two of them? So I don't see any scenario in which ESPN doesn't pay him. That would be a massive blunder. And I don't see a situation where ESPN would make the same mistake that FS1 did. The fact of the matter is simply this. FS1 made a massive mistake by letting Shannon Sharp go. It is quite clear. How they let Shannon go is unbeknownst to me. How do you let Shannon Sharp go? How do you let him go? Because if Stephen A. Smith becomes a free agent, what if they offer him a bigger deal at FS1? He may take it. Why wouldn't I? You know he's going to bring in an audience. So why risk losing him to the competition? So I think he deserves the money. Has nothing to do with whether or not I agree with his positions. The fact of the matter is, Stephen A. Smith has been generating the results for well over a decade. And that got to count for something. So I don't think ESPN could lose a marquee face like that. And also, he's one of these guys who's going to protect the brand. He's one of these guys who's going to defend ESPN on a regular basis. He's not going to call out he's going to be one of these guys who's always going to defend it, and he always has. He's a loyal employee to the network. Whether some people think that's positive or negative, whatever it is, that's what he is. But if he does leave, it would really send a jolt through the system. I think it would send shockwaves throughout the network. But hey, I could be wrong, because we've been seeing various pilots, I guess you could say, of Shannon Sharp hosting the show. Who knows? Maybe they're working toward. Maybe Stephen A. Smith is just fed up. Who knows? I don't know. I think we have to wait and see. But I find it unlikely that ESPN doesn't pay him the money, because if his contract is up in 16 months, that's at least a year. You know he's going to have more success with his YouTube channel and all the other things that he's did. So he's going to be able to bargain more chips at the table, because he's going to look at Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee came in and Stephen A. Smith has more ratings than him. And look what they're paying back McAfee. They're paying him 18 million, 17 million a year. So Stephen A. Smith will be looking like, I'm for damn sure need to make more than him. So I don't see any way that they wouldn't pay him. And I think they don't. It'll be a massive mistake. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show.